Well, Rich, like the last podcast we did in the Q&As, we did ask for some festive questions. I've been scanning through the site this morning, and there are a couple of good topical festive questions there. So shall we have a look what these are all about?
Sure, you know, you've prepared yourselves for the answers, I assume.
Well, no, I never. But this is always off the cut. This is a live show.
Yeah,
this is a live show.
I was a bit late this morning, wasn't I? So I kind of, because of course you were rehearsing the song in my absence.
Right.
So,
well, you did join in, and you did
well.
do a nice bit of la 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 in the background, which is perfect. we quite enjoyed it.
Mrs. B is posed a question entitled "Christmas Pots." And I think what she's referring to are potatoes.
Ah, not the poinsettias.
No, not the poinsettias.
Right.
Not the
or little
pots,
cyclamens or anything else.
Not anything to do with smoking wacky backy or anything like that. Purely spudified. Food. So it's she's saying she's put Christmas potatoes in early September.
Right.
And she's planted these potatoes in a mix of tubs or bags. Some are in the greenhouse, some are out of the greenhouse.
Right.
In the ground. And she's also speculating that she's new to this.
Right.
So she's wondering, when and will they be ready for Christmas?
Do you want will and when they be ready, or when and will they be
ready?
And
is it a race against the frost as to whether they actually survive?
Well, you've been very, very fortunate. I am not a believer in Christmas potatoes, because you are dependent in the hands completely of Mother Nature. And if you've got a cold autumn and any frost or any cold temperatures, those Christmas potatoes are, in the vernacular, no good. They are no more.
Did you not try some?
I did, and they were very unsuccessful. I paid more for the potatoes than what I got back in terms of the crop, because they are specialised potatoes that's been kept in cold storage, and when they come out, they immediately spring into life. And that's the idea, where they shorten the season to then enable you to get them for Christmas. But she seems to be successful. She must have plenty of foliage.
Well, she's been lucky this year, of course.
Yes, it's been the winter hasn't emerged, has it?
If she'd have tried that last winter, any potatoes outside would have just frozen in the ground.
Would have had no chance whatsoever. But the only way you know they're ready is, particularly the ones in the ground, get your fork, lift one and see what it's producing underneath, and that will be evident to what's under the rest. In the pot, it's easy. It's a little bit of these Christmas time, get the old brand tab going like you used to in those parties when you were kids. Put your hand in, feel around and find what little presents are there.
What parties you used to get to?
All like strange parties. But then you put your hand into this tub of compost, feel around, and you will find the potatoes there.
Yeah.
And if they're a decent size, then you pick them.
Brilliant.
And you can leave the ones as small another couple of weeks. But obviously she's grown them for Christmas, and I'm sure she'll get this year a meal out of them. So on Christmas Eve, she can dig these potatoes and have her own fresh new potatoes in pride of place on that Christmas plate.
Fantastic. Well, good luck, Mrs. B.
I'm sure
she'll
do
with your lovely, clean-tasting new potatoes.
My address is...
Onions and shallots now, the next one. And this is from Gainsborough. I wonder if he makes showers. Can I plant my onions and shallots now, or shall I wait until the spring? I don't have any room to plant them in October. Regards, Gainsborough.
Right, so this is a two-part answer on this one. Shallots, my father's tradition was he always planted shallots on the shortest day of the year, and always harvest them on the longest. And that was the perfect condition. So shallots, providing the ground is workable, it's not cold and frosty, you can actually put these shallots out. And we haven't quite reached December the 21st yet, so you have a bit of time to play with. But in regard to the onions, she doesn't say whether those are winter onions or whether she's managed to get hold of some sets which are the normal summer onions.
Right.
If for the winter onions, you may risk those out. But again, I wouldn't. I would start those in small pots, make some growth under cover somewhere with plenty of light, and then plant those out in March. If they are the ones which are the normal summer sets, then hang on to them, keep them somewhere dry, somewhere cool, and they can go out late March, early April, straight in the soil. So sorry the answer's vague, but there's not enough detail in the question.
Yeah, I mean, I never put onions or shallots in until March.
No, but you've grown the summer ones.
Yeah, but also, you know, I mean, you can put the overwinter ones in, but the reality is, if you plant the conventional ones in early spring, they'll catch up anyway, don't they?
It depends on the game. We're always in the lap of the weather, aren't we?
Yeah.
You've no idea what the winter's going to do. But shallots are a hardy beast, and they will withstand anything. And again, they do what they used to call Japanese onions, and now called winter onions. These can go in and they are hardy enough to go. But again, they do get spoilt by the buffet in the rain. The slags, believe it or not, do nibble the
well, there's nothing else to nibble.
No, so they go on and they attack that little set that's in the ground. So yeah, you're probably better off doing that way. But you know, don't get cries. You want to have a go. I put the onion sets into pots now. Plant them out later in the year. But the shallots, right in the ground is fine. Put them in within the next fortnight.
Fantastic. And really, the penultimate question is not so much a question as an inducement for people to post their favourite gardening associated songs. And there's an enormous list here. I mean, this is by far the biggest answer to any question I've ever seen anywhere, I think.
Well, I think we've inspired us with our podcast. I think now all gardeners have a musical lilt running through them.
Yeah, they do.
And want a song associated with what they actually planted.
I mean, actually, I thought our Christmas carol that we did today was superb.
Well, I mean,
it's really, really
move
good.
Aside, man allowed is all I can say for the Christmas number one. We are on our way with this one.
Yeah, definitely.
We definitely got a winner there.
We did, but the funny thing is we were talking about this, these our favourite gardening songs earlier on, and you told me which one was my favourite, but I've forgotten what it was.
What was your favourite? Now, you're in Wales, amongst the land of Tom Jones.
That's right.
Only a few hundred yards from his birthplace.
Green manure of the Rhondda. That was the one, wasn't it?
No, it was my Dahlia.
That's the one.
So you can obviously haven't got this Welshness in you.
No.
You have no music in you.
Well, I do actually. I mean, I do have
no music in your
the thing is, I'm not that I admit it in mixed company, but half of me is Welsh.
I've heard
but I obviously haven't inherited the
Welshness of the land of song. I mean, I've heard you play the harmonica. I mean, that's diabolical. But I mean, my favourite gardening song of all time was made by Frank Sinatra when he sang "I Dug It My Way."
That's right. I remember you singing that. Yeah,
at a big function.
Resonance with me.
You did. We sang that to a packed audience in a town hall in Edinburgh, didn't we?
We did,
and they all left.
In fact, we're going to do another talk in Aberystwyth, aren't we? On
next Tuesday.
Week.
Yes, next Tuesday.
A Christmas gig to give those guys. So,
yeah, so we
should abuse them with a song.
We shall finish off with a song.
I'll take my mouth organ and practice.
So I'll go back through my large repertoire of lyrics.
Aren't they lucky?
And we shall find a song. They don't know what they're in for.
They don't know what they're in for. No. We'll save it till the end. So.
This is they'll all be gone with it.
No, I'm just wondering we should perhaps get the cheque before we do the sing song as well.
Are we getting paid?
Yes.
Oh, my God. That's the first.
And the last question, which is something that, interestingly, when we video My Life on the Hill tomorrow, I'm going to be focusing on mistletoe.
Excuse me, how are you getting you a trailer into our video? You're now detracting the listeners from our videocast. They're now looking forward to the episode of Tales on the Hill rather than sitting down watching this thing properly.
So this is a question from Scubby64, and Scubby is asking the question: do I just slice the bark on my apple tree and pop in a seed and keep my fingers crossed, or is there a set method for growing mistletoe?
Well, I thought, and I'm not a mistletoe grower. I am no romantic soul. But I always thought that mistletoe was naturally moved around by the beaks of birds.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, but I presume you can actually do that. I mean, you are from the land of mistletoe in Hereford. Yeah. There's no mistletoe grows in Wales. And would you actually try to plant it yourself?
You can do, yeah. I mean, actually, it's quite easy to propagate, but you do simply get a seed or a whole bunch of the squelchy little white seeds and then squish them in the gaps of the bark on a tree. Just squish them and go on there. Mistletoe berries have that like sticky kind of like a kind of sebum, sort of very adhesive material around the seed itself.
Glue,
yeah, it sort of sticks them in place, doesn't it? It sticks them in place.
I don't know, I've never never had the sort of opportunity to climb an apple tree and stick some mistletoe seed.
But to be honest, I don't think mistletoe. The problem is it is a parasite. I mean, it was a hemiparasite, but ultimately it does if you get lots and lots of it on a tree, it will kill the tree.
It will kill the tree, will it? And they don't live happily together with the mistletoe providing.
No, I mean, they'll live, as long as there's not too much on the tree, then, you know, the one will cope with the other.
Right, but it will eventually, if it takes hold too much, will actually destroy the tree.
Yeah, yeah, and in fact, when we do the filming tomorrow, we'll look at dead trees that are dead off the back of an enormous amount of
So it is a bit of a thug then?
It can be, it can be, where it's successful, where it does well, especially on apple trees. I mean, it grows on loads of different types
it goes
of
on
trees.
poplars. I mean, there's a lot of poplars going on, so
thorns, things like that, you know. But
again, I've heard through the grapevine, or for the mistletoe vine, that this year has been a phenomenal year for the mistletoe harvest.
Well, it's been interesting. The cost, the price for mistletoe has been high this year.
Right.
But one of the reasons for that is because there's not a lot, because everybody wants the dark green, heavily buried mistletoe.
Right.
And at home, because we've had such a dry year, there's very little dark green mistletoe. It's quite light, and it's very yellow because the trees themselves haven't had a great deal of moisture.
Right, so
you get the odd clump. There is a distinction. Yeah.
So you learn something new every day. Yeah. Not a lot of people knew that.
No.
To me, a mistletoe is a bit of stuff growing on a tree with these white berries, under which you can find some attractive female and make an excuse to kiss her because it's Christmas.
Precisely. Well, there is that. that is mistletoe. So yeah, but it's dead easy to grow mistletoe, but be very careful that it doesn't colonise all your tree and bump it off because it's become too successful. But having said that, it takes a long time to grow mistletoe. Even a little piece of mistletoe sprouting from a tree about yay big will be about 3 years old.
Oh, so it's a long wait for that.
But big buds, I mean, obviously it starts to grow quicker.
Right.
It's like a sort of exponential kind of equation, you know. It sort of grows bigger after a fashion.
Mistletoe is mathematical, though. Mistletoe is mathematical. That's quite good. Then.
It's easy for you to say.
So I mean, if you're going to grow mistletoe, you need to find a young lady who's going to wait until you grow up before you can actually pick your own. So on a little festive note,
indeed,
shall we
go?
We shall end the Q&A question.
Yeah.
And we'd like to thank these people who sent in festive questions, because that was what we asked for.
Yeah.
And we look forward to next month now to getting back to kickstarting 2012.
And once again, thanks very much for voting for us as well.
Yes, we are very grateful.
Award.
I mean, without the help of the people who actually listen to these and watch these videos, then we would not have had this trophy.
No, should we show the trophy?
Shall we show the trophy? Yes.
Should we? I mean, this is something to behold, isn't it? I mean,
it is. Yes.
Look at that.
Do
you want to hold the other side of it?
Hold the other side. We're holding this up.
There you go.
It's like the FA Cup of gardening. The FA Cup of gardening. So this is for this actual video cast. These people who are watching this now are actually responsible for us getting that. But so we are extremely grateful.
Yeah.
To me, it's been an early Christmas present.
Indeed, fabulous. Could do some mistletoe now, couldn't we?
We could do some mistletoe. Well, Rich, that's the end of the Q&A. So again, we'd like to wish all these viewers a very merry Christmas and an extremely happy New Year.
Indeed. Happy Christmas.
Jingle bells!